Hello and welcome to another video from Defying the Stars Tarot and Astrology. For this week's Pick a Deck reading, we will be asking, what surprise is in store for you? Life can be full of surprises sometimes, mine no exception. And with that on my mind, I thought what surprise might be on the horizon would be a fun thing to look at this week. So, as usual, we have 4 decks for you to choose from. We have deck number 1 is our Skyrim Tarot. Deck number 2, our Starseed Oracle. Deck number 3, Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot. And deck number 4, the Adventurer's Tarot. So go ahead and take a look at these 4 decks, see if any of them speak to you. If you're having trouble picking which one, you can always close your eyes, take a deep breath in. As you release that deep breath out, open your eyes and see which deck calls to you first. Once you've picked your deck, go ahead and you can find the timestamps for each deck down in the description below. And it should also auto-update in your video scroller. So go ahead and jump ahead to your reading, and I'll see you there. Thank you. Hello, welcome to deck number 1 of this week's reading. What surprise is in store for you is the question we are asking today. As is my usual practice, I have gone ahead and pre-shuffled this deck, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it and we'll get right into it. So we will draw 3 cards to get us started and pull some clarifiers after that. All right, so we have the 3 of lockpicks, the 4 of lockpicks reversed, and the 2 of voice. For those of you who are not familiar with the Skyrim tarot deck, the lockpicks are our coins, and the voice is our cups. So, what surprises in store for you? Well, with the 3 of coins here, there is an opportunity in the wings for you to work together as a team with a group of people to collaborate on something, particularly something that might be lucrative in terms of making money. It could also be something related to your physical environment. It could be getting some people to help you move. It could be doing a cleanup project, something like that. But there is an opportunity on the horizon to work with others, to get something done as a group. With the 4 of lockpicks, or the 4 of coins, coming in reversed here, I sense that part of this surprise may involve upsetting your stability a little bit. You are probably in a state right now, if you're in a kind of 4 of coins place, where you're pretty content, pretty settled, pretty content with what you have. You are not interested in upsetting the apple cart for no good reason. You're not overly tempted by shiny things that pass your way. And I think here, with the 4 of coins coming in reversed, there's a strong possibility that something is going to come along that upsets that sort of status quo for you. Something could come along that makes you feel less secure and stable in your material world or your resources. Um, so going back to that 3 of coins, whatever it is that comes in to destabilize you, you may need to depend on other people to kind of help you through that, or work through that problem, whatever it may be. This could be something to do with work. Maybe there's a shakeup at your job. This could have something to do with with family situations. There's really a broad range of things that this could be, but something is probably going to come in soon that kind of shakes your foundations a little bit. And it's going to be important for you to see the opportunity in that to work with some other people in order to resolve that or start something new. The best part of this reading, though, that I really love here is this Two of Cups, the Two of Voice. With this coming in, there is a potential a wonderful connection coming in for you. It may not be romantic in nature, although that is kind of the default assumption with the Two of Cups. So if you're single, you may be finding yourself in meeting someone that you want to be in a relationship with very soon. But if you're not looking, if you're not if you're already happily partnered, what this could mean is that you are going to meet a new friend or a new colleague that you really connect with and really feel like you can partner with on something. The Two of Cups is a deep emotional bond, a deep emotional connection, and so this is someone who you're going to find yourself just really connecting with on a deeper level. It's not going to be someone you connect with over shared ideas, or, I mean, you might share ideas, but it's not going to be that kind of surface level of you have the same politics or you have the same sense of humor. It's going to be a little deeper than that. It's going to be someone you resonate with on an emotional level who just the vibe is right. So, so some good and bad here. There is something that may kind of rock you a little bit and destabilize you, but there's also some really beautiful connections coming in with other people that can help you through this. Um, let's get some more information on what's going on here. Okay, so the magician is coming in on this Three of Coins. That tells me that this is going to be something that is very much directed by you. This is something where you are going to say, I want to do this thing and I need help. Will you help me with this? You are probably going to have to be the one to make that ask, to reach out to people, to be like, hey, I have this idea. Can you come in and help me with it? And the magician is a wonderful card. It is um, the first card in the deck. Sometimes they put the fool ahead of the magician, um, but the magician is very much manifestation. It's this idea that you have this incredible power within you to make things happen as if by magic. And oftentimes it is not pure magic. It is something that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time and patience and things like that. But the first step of it is having that initiative and being proactive and believing that this is something that can be achieved. So keep that in mind. This opportunity that's coming in for you, you are going to have to take the lead on that, and it is going to have to be something that you feel passionate about and you believe in. Coming in on our Four of Coins reversed, we have the Five of Coins. So what I'm seeing here is that this setback or destabilization, whatever the case may be, it's going to be something that is maybe a little bit a consequence of your own behavior. Um, this could be, something like, debt catching up with you, or maybe you haven't been putting in as much effort as you should in your job, and your job starts to notice. Like, it's going to be something like that where you probably are going to feel some regret about getting yourself into this situation. But I think it's important to recognize with the rest of these cards here that you are going to have an opportunity to turn this around, and you are going to have an opportunity to take your fate into your own hands with this magician card. But there's going to be something that um, leaves you feeling like you're left out in the cold, like you are suffering the consequences of something. and it's probably going to be up to you to rectify that. And finally, for our clarifier on the Two of Voice, we have the 10 of lockpicks, or 10 of coins. The 10 of coins is really the culmination of a lifetime of labor. It is wealth and abundance to the level of it's something that you have as a legacy that you can leave to the next generation. It is it is truly reaching the pinnacle of fulfillment, and those, especially those material aspects, material comfort and abundance and wealth. With that coming in on the Two of Voice, I think that what this is saying is this connection, this deep emotional connection with this person coming in, is going to be one that leads you to a lot of abundance and fulfillment. And it may be because that becomes a business partnership, or a mentor who helps you advance your career. It could be because you're about to meet someone really rich who's just gonna, take care of you. That's probably not what it is, just statistically speaking. But um, this connection is going to be something that, if nurtured and cared for and appreciated, could really lead you to a much better situation. Because right now you're feeling, going back to that Four of Coins reversed, what you're probably feeling right now is that things are okay. They may not be ideal, but to shake things up would be a bigger risk than you're willing to take. And so you're kind of just, it's a card of settling, but there's stability there and there's comfort there, but it's not that fullness and abundance that you would see with like the 10 of coins. So whatever is about to happen in your life, whatever the surprise is has the potential to take you from basic comfort and stability to real abundance and fulfillment. So don't squander that opportunity. So just to recap, there is an opportunity to work with others. There is someone who might be coming into the picture that you're going to have a really deep connection and a really natural and easy partnership with. These things all together, um, you may be facing some consequences for some choices that you made. You may be finding yourself kind of turned out in the cold temporarily, but this is an opportunity for you to manifest the life that you want and to take action to spur the people in your life to work with you to get to this ultimate fulfillment. So I hope that that is a good surprise for you. I know that it comes with a little bit of probably discomfort here, but knowing that there is so much opportunity here, hopefully you can seize on that and find yourself in a much better place, not just surviving, but thriving. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked this, please consider taking a second to hit that like button. If you want to see more of these, you can always subscribe to the channel. And with that, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again. Hello, welcome to our reading with deck number 2, the Starseed Oracle. Today we are asking what surprise is in store for you. I've gone ahead and shuffled this off screen as is my usual practice, so I'm going to cut the deck and go ahead and draw our first 3. All right, so we have, let me get that squared up for you. All right, we have I Remember. We have Star Ancestors, and Hiraeth, Longing for Home, Homesick for the Stars. Okay, so what surprise is in store for you? Okay, with I Remember, we have Soul Plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. That's an interesting concept of fate versus destiny. Fate can kind of have a more negative connotation, especially if you go back to like Greek mythology. Um, Fate could be kind of the unfortunate circumstances in life that just sort of lead you to they could lead you to prosperity, but they could also lead you to a bitter end if you're just sort of being pulled by the strings of fate in one direction or another. I apologize if you hear a little bit of background noise. There is a thunderstorm as I'm shooting this, and I don't know when it will pass. So hopefully my mic isn't picking up too much of that, but I won't know until I'm done. But with this first card, I Remember, fate versus destiny. Destiny is more of this idea of there is something that you are intended to do with your life. So, what I'm seeing here in terms of surprises, something is going to come in that jars you, that reminds you that there is more to life than the different places you're being tugged towards, that there may be something that you are being called to do of a higher nature, that the whims and vagaries of life have kind of kept you from moving toward. With our next one, Star Ancestors, we have Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. That's if you can't see it on camera, that is the small text under the card. With this, I think we see this idea of hidden wisdom. What that really comes down to is your personal intuition and your own connection with the spiritual, with whatever your belief system may be, that sort of other world of the spirit, of the divine. Um, it may be time to reconnect with that and to dig deeper into your own intuition, not your tuition. Hopefully, this has nothing to do with your tuition if you're in school. Um, And with our last card, we have Heraeth, Longing for Home, Homesick for the Stars. So this goes into some of the starseed beliefs um, that some people are descendants of, these star ancestors, and that they feel kind of out of place in this world because they are descended from this sort of celestial line, and their soul comes from there, not so much their body, their DNA, obviously. um I think what I'm getting from all of this is something is going to come in that kind of shakes you out of your stupor, shakes you out of your complacency, and you are going to find yourself feeling a little out of place in this world, feeling like you're not sure you're doing what you should be doing, not necessarily in terms of what's right and wrong or what's legal or illegal, but more in the sense of what was your destiny? What is your purpose in this world? I think you're going to find yourself really thinking deeply about that. Um, Now, what is the triggering event that causes that? It's not clear from these. Maybe some of our clarifier cards will give us more of an idea. But I think there are a lot of things in life that can sort of jar us into questioning whether we are fulfilling our purpose. And sometimes it may be nothing at all. Sometimes you may just find yourself in a rut and you finally hit a point where you're like, am I okay with continuing this way? And so if you've been down lately, if you have been, a little depressed, if you've been feeling like you're spinning your wheels, you're not really sure why you're doing what you're doing, these cards are an invitation for you to recognize that there may be a higher purpose for you that you're not pursuing, and you may be able to uncover that by reconnecting with that sort of lost wisdom, reconnecting with that spiritual side, reconnecting with, your true home in the stars, as the case may be, but even taking it as a metaphor. Um, your soul may be feeling a little homesick because it's not living amongst the people or the environment that it was meant to be in. So let's get some clarifiers and see if we can get a little more about what may be in store for you. Okay. Star bathing, light body crystal grid transmission activation. So this is coming in with I remember. And so I think that your surprise is going to be realizing that there is something more out there for you, that there may be a higher purpose, a greater destiny. And with that is going to come this kind of activation, this spiritual awakening that calls you to realize that there is more out there for you, and that there may be more for you to learn or take in. um, I feel like this is really a call to reconnect spiritually, to meditate, to pray if that's something you do, to if you are more in the line of tarot cards and crystals and pendulums and things like that, to reconnect with those kinds of intuitional practices in order that you may receive the messages that you are supposed to be picking up. With our next one, we have Earth School, Life Lessons, Soul Growth, Study, Higher Learning. Okay, so this comes in on top of Hidden Secrets and Lost Wisdom. This could be very literal for you. This could be, it's time to go back to school. You've been kind of spinning your wheels in a dead-end job. You never went back to school for something that you really wanted to do. Maybe it's time. I think the intent of this card is more the idea that the the things we experience in our physical bodies, in our physical journey through life, is what enables our soul to grow as we learn from those things. Um, so you may have maybe a little bit of a difficult life lesson coming in, but that is going to be the catalyst for a lot of soul growth for you. That is going to be the catalyst for maturing and finding more emotional balance, finding more spiritual balance. But I see some hard lessons coming in. They could be involuntary or voluntary, depending on the situation. And maybe these cards are an opportunity for you to kind of get ahead of that and not have it be so involuntary. But our final card here, the Courageous Peony. Peonies are very beautiful flowers. They are just so full and they smell so good, and then they're covered in ants, and it's so sad and tragic. But the Courageous Peony, what it says here is multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. So I think the sort of moral of the story in all of this is that perhaps in your life you have kind of faded into the background. Maybe you are working a dead-end job, something that doesn't feel like it has a lot of meaning or purpose. It doesn't give you a lot of opportunity to show your skills, to show your true capabilities. um, I really feel like this is a call to action, a call to come out from the shadows, to come off the sidelines, to take initiative in your life, to really grow and learn and come into your full purpose. So, based on this reading, I'm not sure that this is going to be a surprise in the sense that I intended with my previous Sorry. I heard my husband walking on the stairs and I completely lost my train of thought. I'm not sure that this is going to be a surprise quite in the way that I intended when I set up this reading of what surprise is in store for you. But in the sense of what change, what transformation is in store for you, this is a call to activate, to find a higher purpose and to pursue it, to come out of the kind of rut that you may be in. Um, and I know that's easier said than done. Sometimes ruts are very stable and secure, and to come out of them requires a lot of risk. Um, but I think that there's always a way to tune into your higher purpose and to pursue that, even if you don't throw away everything else in your life. If you want to keep that job to pay the bills, find a way to work in that purpose and that and that mission in life, whether it's something you do before work to get you energized for the day. If you try to do it after, you might be too wiped out, so kind of keep that in mind. um, but this is really a call to elevate and to find that level of meaning and purpose that is missing right now. I hope this was a helpful reading for you. If you liked it, please consider hitting that like button. If you would like to see future readings, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But otherwise, I just want to thank you for being here, and I hope to see you again in the future. Hello, welcome to deck number 3 in our weekly reading. Our question today is, what surprise is in store for you? This is, again, Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot. I've already shuffled, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck and get right into it. We have 3 cards to start us off, as is my usual practice. All right, so we have our Ace of Swords reversed. We have the Hierophant. And we have the Emperor reversed. Okay. What surprise is in store for you? This might be a tough one. Okay. The Ace of Swords reversed. The Ace of Swords is, I always think of it as like an epiphany, an idea that just comes to you out of the clear blue. It is a sort of deeper truth, a universal truth that you come to understand. And it is also, aces are always opportunities. They are starting points. They are the beginning of a journey. I think with this Ace of Swords coming in reversed, the reversal can sometimes indicate a delay, but in this case, the way I take it is that this is going to be perhaps an unwanted epiphany, something that is uncomfortable to come to terms with, something that is uncomfortable to think about. Um, and this idea that occurs to you may not be something that you want to contend with. Um, it may not come from you, it may come from another person. So it may feel kind of foisted upon you in a way that you really don't like. And so I see some resistance there to whatever this idea is. But it being the Ace of Swords, there is truth to it. And so it's something that you will need to consider and come to terms with. With our second card, we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is representative of sort of institutional order. It is, I think of the Hierophant kind of like the Pope, the head of the church, a spiritual leader, um, but maybe not. But there's a masculine energy to it. And again, I always try to remind you, when I say masculine or feminine, I'm not referring to an individual person's gender. I am referring to the quality of the energy. Masculine energy is more aggressive, assertive, dominant. It is more firm. All of those kinds of synonyms, really. Um, so with the Hierophant, we have this sort of institutional order, institutional wisdom. There's a lot baked into the Hierophant in terms of following tradition, following the prescribed way of doing things. So here, coming in between the Ace of Swords reversed and the Hierophant, I think you are going to run into something that challenges your beliefs in an institution, in tradition, in a prescribed way of doing things. This doesn't have to be religious in nature. This could be, this could be referring to political ideology. This could be referring to any sort of belief system that is institutionalized. Um, this could be anything that you feel a loyalty to, um, or any group that you feel like you're a part of. I think the surprise here is that something's going to come up that makes you question this, that makes you uncomfortable with what you've probably believed in and prescribed to for a long time, and that's going to be really hard. There's a disillusionment here. Um, with our last card, we have the Emperor reversed. The emperor is, I think we all have an image in our mind of what an emperor might be. Um, it is someone who is in control of not only one nation, but probably multiple nations. It is someone who wields vast power and influence. Again, we have very strong masculine energy with the emperor. It could be that there is a strong masculine figure in your life that is at the root of all of this. Um, that again doesn't have to refer to an individual person's gender. If your mother exhibits a lot of masculine energy, this could be representing your mother. It could be your father. It could be a professor, a principal, a priest. It could be any sort of authority figure that is in your life that presents with that kind of masculine energy, that sort of dominance and dictatorial nature. This is someone who what they say goes, and there is no opposing them, there is no questioning them. With this coming in reversed, I feel like you are going to finally start questioning this person or resenting their authority over you. I feel like there is an incoming rebellion for you, and that sounds very dramatic. It doesn't have to be um, a major uprising. It's just you are going to question something that you have always taken for granted as true, and that may shake up your life in many areas. um, so I think the best thing we can do here is get into our next round of cards and see if they can tell us a little bit more. um, for our Ace of Swords reversed, we have the Devil reversed. So I think this knowledge, this epiphany that comes in, I think you're going to be tempted to see it as temptation. You are going to look at it initially as this is something trying to pull me away from the truth. This is something that's trying to pull me away from what I know. But this devil coming in reversed, it really calls into question, do you know what you think you know? Um, are things really the way that they appear on the surface? Um, when I think of the devil, I think of Paradise Lost. Um, Milton's story of the devil, Lucifer's fall from heaven and fall from grace. Um, and there's really two sides to that story, you know. When Milton wrote it, he said in the prologue that he wanted to justify the ways of God to man. He was writing it with the intent that people would feel better about God and his choices and be more wary of the devil. But when you read it, when a lot of people read it, maybe not everyone, but when a lot of people read it, Lucifer is the most human character of them all. He is deeply understandable, deeply relatable. There is a lot of room for empathy there. And it's sort of, in my view, Milton kind of accidentally did the opposite of what he intended, which was he justified the ways of the devil to man. And God remains a mystery in his writing. Um, so coming back to what that means for this card, when you see the devil reversed, what it says to me is think twice about what it is that is being presented to you as evil or wrong. Um, it may be that the thing that you think is guiding you morally, the thing that you think is the true path, is could even be the devil in disguise. And the thing that you think is the devil is really not that at all. I think some of the imagery on this card really makes it clear. Upright, this card, what we would see is the open mouth of a cat, and there's all this cheese inside and there's all these traps around, but this cat is luring this mouse right into its mouth with the promise of cheese. With this reversed, what that means to me is the thing that seems too good to be true is actually probably not evil. It's the thing that is offering you the cheese, and as far as you see it, is not the actual devil, you know, or the thing that you've been taking in as truth may actually be the reverse of that. It may be the cheese luring you into a trap. So there's a real shakeup of faith here. And that, again, it doesn't have to be religious in nature. This could be any kind of person that you have trusted and have accepted their words as truth and wisdom. The surprise in store for you here is realizing that what they were offering, what they were saying, may actually have come with some strings attached, may actually have been pulling you in the wrong direction. To get some more clarity, here on the Hierophant, we have the Eight of Swords reversed. With the Eight of Swords, I always think about a conflict in you're in the middle of a conflict. Sorry for stumbling over my words there. I think of a conflict in progress. It is right in the middle. It is unclear which way it's going to fall. It is something that is sort of up to karma, up to the decisions of the individuals involved. If you are doing the right things, if you are staying on the good side of karma, then this is probably going to fall your way. But if you are not in alignment, then this could really backfire against you. With the Eight of Swords coming in reversed here, I think that this is going to be more of an internal battle for you. And this is going to be a question for you of Do you fight for the thing that you have trusted and believed in? Or do you reconsider that and maybe take your swords to the other side? And there's a lot up in the air there, and it's going to fall to you to tap into your own sense of right and wrong, your own sense of maybe even good and evil, but your own intuition about the situation, and figure out what you believe is right and what action that you believe is the right thing to take. And that's something that you're going to battle with within yourself. It is something that other people can't answer for you. With this coming in on top of the Hierophant, I feel like what this says is that the guides that you have trusted for most of your life are not going to be the ones that can help you with this internal struggle. And our final card, the Six of Cups over the Emperor reversed. The Six of Cups is very interesting here. Six is a number of harmony, and with cups we have the realm of emotion and feeling, so that emotional harmony. But the thing that the Six of Cups is often associated with is nostalgia, a looking back to a rosy past that is often not as good as we remember it being. When we look back on the past, when we look back on the good times, it can be easy to paint with a broad brush and sort of ignore the things that weren't so great and just fixate on the things that were. I think with the Emperor reversed here and the Six of Cups, there is a call to assess the past and to reconsider whether you are seeing the past through rose-colored glasses or whether you are seeing it realistically. Another thing that comes with sixes is the idea of balance, of give and take. And a lot of times, sixes, there's a question there of, are you giving more than you're getting? Or are you being played a little bit? Is someone's generosity true altruism, or does it come with strings attached? And I think what I'm seeing here with the Six of Cups on the Emperor reversed, this person, this authority figure in your life, you are called to question whether what they are offering you is actually of pure intent and for your greatest good, or is it manipulative? Are there strings attached? Are they trying to repaint your memory of things? Are they trying to gaslight you a little bit? All of these things can play in here. So to come back big picture and summarize all of this is definitely our longest reading of the day. There's a lot to unpack here. But what I see in this whole reading is something is going to happen for you that makes you question something that you have believed for a very long time, maybe your entire life. Something is going to happen for you that makes you question an authority that you have previously accepted. And it's going to be really important for you to deeply consider, perhaps for the first time, what your own view of right and wrong is, what your intuition, what your gut tells you about this situation. Are the beliefs that you have been fed serving you? Are they serving other people? Are they serving the greater good, or are they serving the authority? And how this situation resolves is going to depend entirely on you and how well you can contemplate this and come out with your own conclusion. I know that this was really complex. Um, I hope that whatever situation, whatever the surprise is in store for you, that you find yourself able to really tap into your own intuition and listen to that internal guide and find your way through this with grace and hopefully to something better on the other side. Um, because what I see here is a lot of things that are probably not serving you, and it could be a great relief to you to set yourself free from some of those things. But ultimately, it's up to you to decide what those things are and what you want to do about them. Um, I welcome you to come back in the future for another reading. If this reading was helpful to you, if it rang true, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to be notified of future videos, you can subscribe. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you again in a future reading. Welcome to our reading for deck number 4, the Adventurer's Tarot, the Empress deck. We will be asking today what surprise is in store for you. So I've already shuffled off camera. We'll go ahead and get right into it, cut the deck, and draw our first 3 cards. So we have the Two of Celestials, Two of Plants, and the Wizard. Okay, so what surprise is in store for you? With the Two of Celestials, and I want to focus in on the number 2 because that comes in strongly here. The number 2 is about balance. It is about, it can be about duality, opposition, the weighing of one thing against another, which again comes back to balance. With the Two of Celestials, um, the idea of a celestial, this is a divine creature, probably not a when we're talking about celestials in terms of tabletop role-playing games, which this deck is based on, this is more of a divine messenger, somebody who works for a god um, or works on behalf of the divine. um, I think a message is coming in for you. I don't know who that messenger will be, but I think it's going to be a sort of spiritual call. It is going to be a message that um, reminds you to find that spiritual, emotional balance. Um, Perhaps you have been spending a lot of time on material things or social concerns, and have fallen off a little bit from spiritual practice or spiritual connection. Um, this could also indicate just kind of um, something out of the clear blue, something serendipitous, something that feels maybe even feels a little miraculous. It's a surprise that is not necessarily foreseeable because it is coming from a higher plane. So keep that in mind, and we'll move on to our next card. And the Two of Plants. For plants here, we have earthiness, connection with nature, um, the physical world. I associate with plants. Um, I think when we look at the Two of Celestials and the Two of Plants, both of them being twos, both of them calling for balance, I think what we see here is a need to balance those two things together. A balance between the physical, material world, the balance of the work we do to survive, the things we do to make money, to have resources, to be comfortable, balancing that with the the sort of higher calling, the spiritual side of things, the moral side of things, the right and wrong of it all. I think there's a call for some balance here. With our third card, the wizard, coming in, the wizard is someone who is deeply learned. They have spent years and years in study to hone their magical craft. And so the wizard coming in, this may be someone coming into your life that seems to really just have incredible capabilities, can do anything, knows everything, and it feels like magic. It feels effortless. You're sort of astounded by it. But the truth of the matter is that they did put years of work and effort into that, and it's not as effortless as they make it look. Um, so I think what may be coming in as a surprise for you is sort of um, this person that has it all together, and they make it look so easy, and you're like, how, it may make you question your own life and what you're doing with things, and it may make you feel pressure to have a better career, to develop your skills, to just to keep up with the Joneses. But again, our first two cards here are reminding us to keep a balance between what is spiritual, what is intuitive, that sort of um, personal connection with something greater versus the material world, the physical world, the natural world. Let's get some more cards to see what this surprise might entail. So we have the plant on top of our celestial. So again, plants being the natural world. With this being one single plant, I take it as a little bit like the Ace of Coins. There is an opportunity here where, if followed, it is a seed for something greater. It is an opportunity to grow something wonderful, but it does start with that seed. And so I think coming back to this wizard, again, that pressure to perform, to be amazing, I think, there's a realization here that it does start with one small beginning point. It starts small and you have to grow it. You have to nurture it. So I think what I'm seeing here is, if you are able to maintain a balance, if you are able to maintain that connection with higher purpose, and balance that with the opportunities available to you in the material world, opportunities for wealth or growth or development, that there is a major opportunity here coming in. Our next card is going to be, we're not going to do reversals on this deck because the next card is going to be the Four of Aberrations. Okay. So I think what we're seeing here is maybe a realization that the the stability and comfort that you think that you have in your life may in fact be something more sinister. It may be um, something that is controlling you in ways that you may not care for. We have this sort of creepy brain thing here, in terms of tabletop role playing games. That makes me think of mind flayers, mind controlled creatures that sort of take over and control you, and you're just sort of this husk walking along doing something else's bidding. With it coming on top of coming with the number 4, I really think that maybe you have found yourself in a situation where you are seemingly comfortable, things are stable, Maybe you have a lot of financial stability, you're paying all your bills, things are you have a little bit left over for fun, you're doing okay there. But there's a call here to question, what is it that you're giving up for that security and stability? Um, are you doing something that doesn't align with your true beliefs? Are you doing something that doesn't align with your higher purpose? And are you getting stuck in something when there could be an opportunity for something greater, but it does require kind of starting from the beginning? I think that the surprise in store here is probably going to be this realization that what you all have been putting your efforts towards maybe not what you thought it was. For our final card here, we have the ooze. Okay, so taking it all together, how I take this is your current situation. You are maybe investing your time and energy into something that is not in alignment with your beliefs, your values, your highest good. And you are so kind of sunk deep in that you are having trouble finding your way out. You have been kind of swallowed up by it all. I think the surprise that comes in is is maybe a person who makes you realize that there are other options, that there is another way. And that is what's going to call you to question the balance of things, to question um, what it is you've been building, what it is you've been working toward, and to try to find some sort of better balance in your life. That could be referring to like work life balance. It could be, again, coming back into alignment with your personal values. If you are putting your effort and energy toward something that you don't really believe in, and you're not putting a lot of energy and effort toward the things that you do care most about, you're gonna have that feeling of like you're just sinking in this quicksand ooze that you can't get out of on your own. And on this card for the ooze, we see a hand reaching out to help to pull you out. If that's the surprise that comes in, if it's that hand that's reaching out to pull you out, um, I think the message here is don't turn away from that. Don't reject that hand of help. Um, take that hand, take that message, take that clarity and that reminder, and use this person who is bringing this clarity back into your life. Use that to motivate you to plant a new seed, to start something new, to um, to develop something into what it is that you really want. And I think the difficult thing here is that it may in fact require starting over. And that's really hard when you've put a lot of time and effort in. But at the end of the day, if starting over is the only thing you can do other than stay in the ooze, then the choice is pretty simple. You've got to start over. Um, so I think be on the lookout for someone who shows you a better way. Be on the lookout for someone who seems to have it together in a way that you didn't really believe was possible, and learn from them. Figure out how they did it. Be embody that wizard and take on that level of study and work to develop what it is you need to nurture that seed of something, to grow it into something that's going to bring you so much more fulfillment and abundance than what it is you're doing now. I think that's a good place to leave it. If this reading was helpful to you, if it resonated, I would appreciate if you would consider hitting that like button. If you would like to be notified of future readings, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I just want to thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again in future readings.